Hello there, friends and RC family. My name is Alec from High Noon Hobbies, and if you are new to this channel, I very much appreciate you checking it out. I hope that you will stick around, watch at least this video, see if this content seems worth your while, and consider subscribing so that then I can say to you, if you aren't new here, welcome back to yet another Friday upload from the beautiful Sand Hollow, Utah during Trail Hero 2022. Well, sort of. You saw the Trail Hero event actually happening down there by the water, but the Slut Crawlers crew is passing through, and we decided to hit up Mousetrap with our good friend Logan from West Desert Wheeler and a couple other southern buddies, and hit up some hard lines on our travels down to Apple Valley, California for the Proline By The Fire 2022 event. A very exciting time for everyone in the RC community, but we had a 8.5, 9-hour drive all the way from northern or kind of the mid section of Utah all the way down to SoCal, so we decided to break it up a little bit, and in doing so we realized that St. George or Sand Hollow is actually a pretty perfect middle ground in between Salt Lake City and Apple Valley, so we decided to stop by and see what was going on during the Trail Hero event and get the RCs out, do some hard lines, see what we could come up with. This line in particular is actually one that Logan has been working for a while, and it's an absolutely ridiculous line. If you want to find some just absolutely ridiculous, like puts your truck in some absurd positions where it looks like it should never be able to come out or even do what it's doing, then you gotta go trail crawling with this guy right here. Logan knows how to find some absolutely obtuse obstacles and really get people's get their sweat boiling and their brains turning into mush as they try to figure out how to get through some of his lines. This one in particular, though, as I said, he's never, I don't think at least, and Logan, please correct me in the comment section down below if I'm incorrect, but I don't think he's gotten this line before, at least maybe in this truck. Not 100% certain, but he has gotten close enough now in this position that he just is, he's like a bull in a china shop. The only thing he wants to do is get out of the end of this line in by any means necessary, and still got a smile on his face, but he's definitely trying here. And he makes a remark that he doesn't have the rest of the weekend to worry about because all of us boys are headed down to Proline, while Logan, unfortunately, it was not headed down to California with us this time, but we're hoping to get him out there next year. Really hoping that Proline By The Fire and Trail Hero don't happen on the same weekend next year, because that was a big bummer. We really wanted to do both of these events, and the fact that we had to choose one or the other kind of sucked. But at least we got a day here with Logan, and we got to watch him really try his hardest to break his truck because he didn't care because he wasn't going to Proline. So there's really not much recovery from this position he's in now besides ingenuity. It's just all about working your tires and figuring out what you can do. But I mean, you can see just by the way that his body is binding up against the sidewall that is a nasty, nasty crack. And I don't think that it was a good idea to push that one any further, and he decides the same thing, and so he's calling it there. We weren't able to finish that line, or at least Logan wasn't able to finish that line, so now the High Noon Hobby Capper is going to take a crack at it, of course. And the entrance is a bit of a doozy in and of itself. Not particularly easy to get in here, particularly if you don't have four-wheel steer. Luckily, the High Noon Capra is good to go in that department, so we've got the four-wheel steer covered, and you can just see here, I mean, if you weren't able to crab walk through this, you would just nosedive into that hole. The only way that I am kind of staying balanced here is just playing the teeter-totter game with literally 2 tires on the rock, maybe 3, just depending on the moment, and just using that four-wheel steer to really balance the weight of the truck and try to keep it in the middle. but that is not a sustainable practice when you're trying to hit a line like this. And this section here just absolutely gets me. I really couldn't figure this one out. I knew I needed to get my front up at this point, but the only way I could see to get my front up was to bring my rear down a little bit, but I really had no place to bring my rear down. So I tried to steer my rear out while I brought my front in, but unfortunately it just did this weird gravity thing and it sucked itself into the cliff, and so I wasn't able to get it. But luckily there's plenty of easier, more pretty lines that we can also take a look at and that I can hit and feel a little bit more accomplished, like this one here, making you feel a bit like the king of the world here in the mousetrap area of Sand Hollow. Now this is or Chutes and Ladders, I suppose. This area is an area coined by Wes Desert Wheeler, and it's not often hit by buggies. There's a few buggy lines through here. One particular trail that Logan actually came up with himself was the Mousetrap Trail, and it's in this section. And if you're interested, it's an RC trail. It's a very nasty RC trail, but oh man, that RC Speedy Cage. Hoo-wee. Nice job on that build, Zach. I really appreciate that one. That's Utah County Crawler. I'll leave a link for him down in the description. But it is a nasty RC crawling trail, and we actually get to, if you're interested, see a full-scale rig hit a nasty RC trail, and you can check that out over on the Wes Desert Wheeler channel. It's pretty dang entertaining to see such a tight V-notch. You know, if you're familiar with trying to find red rock trails or solid rock trails for RC crawling, you'll know that oftentimes the trails that you find that are best for RCs are pretty tight V-notch canyons, maybe even what you would consider like a small slot canyon. And so to see on Logan's channel that full-scale rig hitting that tiny slot canyon, it's a doozy. It's pretty dang impressive. But so I'll leave a link to that down in the description as well. This just kind of a few pretty lines that we decided to hit here, kind of in between some harder lines, and you know, it's always fun to hit those more pretty lines. Now this one here, this has to be one of the longest continuous lines that I think I've ever filmed on the channel. This is just a really, really fun canyon on the kind of far bottom side of Logan's little RC area here, and it just seems to go on forever, and it's got a really nice mix of like some loose, slatey, gross stuff. It's got some interesting vegetation through there, and then it still has some really fun lines like this one that, well, this one is more just a dirty, grimy grossness line, but this next one up here I actually quite enjoyed. But I just thought, kind of a fun side note, that this, I believe, is one of the longest continuous lines that I've ever filmed on the channel. So if you're interested in fun facts like that, also fun facts for the channel, we are approaching 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate every single one of you guys for subscribing to the channel and for all of your support. I really wouldn't be able to do this without you, and I wouldn't be able to do this without my crazy and wonderful crew of individuals that I've met in the small time I've been in this RC hobby. So I really just want to shout out each and every one of you guys for all of your friendship, your kindness, your support, your knowledge that you have shared with me. It really means the world, and I truly do appreciate it. This has been a family that I never thought that I would find, and it's really fun to have found it and to feel that sense of belonging. And I hope that we can extend the same thing to you if you're new to this hobby, if you're new to the community. It is a fantastic one. It's absolutely spectacular, and I just can't say enough great things about all the people that are subscribed to my channel and also have helped build my channel to where it is. Y'all know who you are, and so thank you all very much, and cheers to 2,000 subs. We're going to try to do some special things here coming up for the subscriber count that we're approaching here. I definitely want to give back to the community and show my gratitude towards all of you guys. But as you can see here, we've transitioned from scale rigs to not so scale rigs. I mean, I suppose the scale on this scale rig would be a 1-to-1. But But we actually ended up running into this crew of crawlers, and as I was just mentioning, or a crew of buggies. These guys are out from Arizona for the, I believe it's Arizona. Yeah, we've got some Arizona flags. They are out from Arizona for the Trail Hero event, and they've ventured out pretty far, reaching it out to the far outskirts of this side of Sand Hollow. And they're hitting some pretty tough lines. That first line that we saw there, that is no joke. And then this line here is actually a marked trail that is pretty significant, as you can see. Some serious buggy lines. So I really appreciate these guys for letting me film them, and I sent the video over to them, so hopefully they can do something with it as well. But I definitely enjoyed this. Was actually kind of my first experience watching rigs of this capability hitting lines like this. When I was in high school, I had a Jeep XJ. I threw 33s on it, and I thought I was a badass, and I thought I could do anything. And now that I see, what fully built rigs are capable of, the incredible lines that they are hitting, the rubber that I find, or that I have found in Sand Hollow the past few times that we've gone, makes a lot more sense now. I'm able to actually visualize what they are capable of doing. And this is part of the fun of getting into RC crawling for me, has been, knowing that this stuff is capable, but just never having the accessibility to it before getting into the remote control side of things, and being able to, replicate this type of incredible, feats, these types of incredible feats of engineering on the small scale, and in an affordable way where, less affordable now that I have as many trucks as I have, but, this has definitely made it attainable for me, and now it's come full circle. I started with small trucks. I started just for fun with these little toys, thinking that it would be something that I would just entertain myself with, and then I meet this great group of people, and then we start going on all these trips. We go on more and more trips. We start planning our own events. We start holding these events. The North vs. South happens, and then now here we are, almost a year into my time in the hobby, and I'm sitting here with the big boys. Obviously I don't own one, but I at least get to hang out with these guys, and I can kind of understand what it is that they're doing. When they're hitting these lines, I am also seeing the line as they are, and understanding what it is that they're trying to do. Now, this guy here, gotta give him big props, mad props. This is Philip, part of this group here. I don't know, I didn't catch the actual name of the group, so I apologize, but if any of you guys are in the comment section down below, please leave it down below, and I will totally pin it to the top so people can find you guys, because you were all doing some pretty crazy stuff. But Philip here is in the biggest, the most kind of the most difficult to maneuver rig of all of these guys. I don't believe he has four-wheel steer, but he's compensating the four-wheel steer, not having four-wheel steer. He's compensating for not having it by using dig, and being able to lock in a rear dig as well as a rear freewheel, so that he's able to perform up with these, very, very capable rigs, and something that is, less capable. Just flat out, this rig that he's in is less capable, but his driving skills totally compensate for it. And Philip, I got to give you mad props here, man. You did great on this line. I really I really had a great time watching you figure this one out, and trying to kind of figure it out with you. So as you can see here, what Philip's trying to do, trying to get that front driver's side to lock in to that little ledge, and he just can't quite get it. The V-notch that he's in now just keeps sucking him in and sucking him in and sucking him in. You can see he's trying to use dig here. He was doing just a kind of a front burn to try to pull himself out and around, but he couldn't quite get it. So he's got to do this precarious dogleg maneuver here, getting his driver rear higher up onto that wall. But in doing so, he's able to get that front driver pushed around a little bit more. Now you can see he's got that hook, and as soon as he gets that hook, he realizes it, starts to use the throttle to even himself out and pulls himself over that ledge. But the sun's setting, guys. This is about all the footage I got for this first day of our journey. I'll see you on part 2 of this Proline By The Fire 2022 explorative trip that we did. It's the first one with our slut crawling crew, and we're looking forward to more. But we've got plenty more to share with you guys before then. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to High Noon Hobby, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.